or you need a calculator. Last year, when you were solving trig equations, your theta or your x was between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay? It was between 0 and 90. Now, in grade 11, that will change. Okay? Because of the quadrants, it is possible that when you solve a trig equation, you can get 2 solutions, you can get 3 solutions, you can get 4, and so on, depending on the restriction. Okay? So the restriction here is that solve for x where x is between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Okay? Now you need to know your quadrants. Remember, sine is positive first and second quadrants. Yeah. Cos is positive in first and fourth quadrant. Tan is positive first and third quadrant. Right. All that you need it when you are dealing with trig equations. So let's start with the first one. Alright, the first one, that is number 1. If you have got sine x equal to 0.68, if you want to get x, okay, if the restriction says x is between 0 and 360, means you are supposed to have 2 solutions, because this ratio here, 0.68, is positive. So we need an x which is in the first quadrant and an x which is in the second quadrant. Okay? So to do that, you can get the one in the first quadrant by dropping the x, okay, then taking the sign to the other side. When you take the sign to the other side, it becomes shift sign of 0.68. I hope you remember this. Okay? We are trying to find the angle now. Okay? So use your calculator. What is shift sign of 0.68? To 2 decimal places? So it's 42,84 degrees. Okay. Now, this is not the only answer. Okay? Because the ratio is positive, there's a second answer, which must be in the second quadrant, because sine is positive in the first and second quadrant. So, this is the first solution. The second solution, if you want to get the second solution, if you treat this x here in such a way that you subtract it from 180, you can get the angle in the second quadrant, which gives you the same ratio as 0.68. So the second x, or can say x will be equal to 180 degrees minus 42,84 degrees. Okay, and this will give you x equal to 137,16 degrees. Okay, so we have 2 answers. Okay, x equal to 42,84 degrees and x equal to 137,16. You can test those answers if they are right by putting the x here 2 times. When x is 42,84, put it there. When x is 137,16, put it there. You must get the same ratio, which is 0.68. Okay? So when you're solving trig equations, your answer cannot lie because you can prove it's correct. Okay, let's move on to another one. Okay, let's take one with a ratio which is negative, like number 6. Cos minus 0.813. Okay? Let me do it at the top. So we have got number 6. We have cos x equal to minus 0.813. Okay? Now, you can see that the ratio is negative. In which 2 quadrants is cos negative? 2 and 3. It's 2 and 3. So we need 2 values of x in the second and the third quadrant. Okay, because x must be between 0 and 360. So to get the first one, you drop down x, then you say shift cos of minus 0, comma 813.
Which is 144.
Which is what?
144.39.
144.39 degrees. In which quadrant is 144.39?
The second one, sorry.
To be in the second quadrant. Okay? Now we need an angle in the third quadrant. Okay? Which gives you the same answer. Now to get the angle in the second quadrant, what you do is you subtract this 144.39 from 360.
Oh.
Okay? So the other one will be, say, x will equal to 360 degrees minus 144.39. What answer do you get? Huh? 250, 215.61. Right? Now, let's test that these two, if you get both of them will give you minus 0.81. Put them in your calculator. They're giving you the same answer.
Yeah. So let's try it by 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you, this exercise is grade 10. This is not grade 11 yet.
What?
Okay? Which one? Number 10? Let's do.
8.
Okay, number 10. Let's do number 10. If I do number 10, you should be able to do number 8. Right, number 10 is tan squared x over 3 minus 1. Okay, so number 10 is tan squared x over 3 minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, that's what you have here. But here you just have to use your knowledge of equations. You multiply every term by 3. If you do that, you get tan squared x minus 3 equal to 0. Okay? Or you can take the minus 1 first to the right, then you cross multiply, you can get the next equation, which I'm gonna write. I hope you're all okay here.
Yeah.
Then from here you get tan squared x is equal to 3. Remember, what's the objective? To get x. So in order to get x, you have to take square root both sides because of that what? Square. So this becomes tan squared x. The square root of tan squared x is going to equal to the square root of 3. And this will give you tan x equal to the square root of 3. Okay? Then you drop the x, you take the tan to the right, it becomes shift tan of square root of 3. This is a special angle. What is shift tan of positive square root of 3? 60 degrees. So you get x equal to 60 degrees. Okay? But our x must be in there. Remember, there are two angles. One must be in the first quadrant, which is this one. The other one must be in the what? Third quadrant. Okay, now to get the one in the third quadrant, what you do is you add 180 degrees to this one. Okay, add 180 to get an angle in the what? Third quadrant, which gives you the same ratio as square root of 3. So we say or x would equal to 60 degrees plus 180. Why am I adding 180 to that 60 degrees?
Because 240 degrees is in the third quadrant.
Yeah. We are adding 180 because we want an angle in the third quadrant, which gives you the same ratio as tan 60. So that will be equal to x equal to 240 degrees. If you use your knowledge of reductions, 240 you can write it as tan 180 plus 60 degrees, which is equal to tan 60. So you get that. Okay? Now, all this, part of it, most of it is grade 10. The use of quadrants, grade 10. Okay. What?
That's one.
So that will be my last one for today, 12. 2 sine x plus square root of 3 is less than or equal to 0. So 2 sine x plus square root of 3 is less than or equal to 0. Okay? That's what you got there. So first thing, to do that, take the square root of 3 to the right. So you get 2 sine x is greater than or equal to minus square root of 3. Okay? Then you divide both sides by 2. So you get sine x is greater than or equal to minus square root of 3 over 2. Then, forget about the inequality sign. Take the sign to the right, bring in shift. So drop down that, becomes x is greater than or equal to shift sign of minus square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so you get x is greater than or equal to, what answer do you get? Shift sign of minus 3. Is it positive 60 or negative 60? Negative 60.
Well, it's negative.
Okay? Right, remember, this minus 60, okay? Minus 60 is in which quadrant?
In the fourth.
It's in the what? Fourth quadrant.
Yeah.
But we want a positive angle. Remember, the restriction says x must be between 0 and 360. So it means we need to convert this minus 60 degrees to a positive angle. To do that, we just add 360 to it. So what that means is x is going to be greater than or equal to minus 60 plus what? 360, you get 300 degrees. So I'll say therefore. Now, I'm not done. We have dealt with an angle in this is in the fourth quadrant. In which other quadrant is sine negative? The third quadrant, right? Now, if it's the third quadrant, if we want to carry on, we have got minus 160. That's in the third quadrant. How would you create an angle in the third quadrant? How would you create an angle which has got a negative ratio in the third quadrant? All you have to do is you add, okay? You consider the positive of this angle, which is 60 degrees. You add 180, and then you're going to end up in the what? Third quadrant. No, not 120. I'm saying, forget about the minus, add 180 to positive 60, you get what? You get 240. Okay? Now, check it with your calculator. What is sine 300? What?
Same thing. Negative 3. It's root 3 over 2.
Which is what you have there.
Yeah.
And you put sine 240. You get the same one. Okay?
Please take note, this is your daily business today. We will begin block C, Charlie, and 32.
Right.